In November 2009, the Christian Music Hall of Fame handed the award for Inspirational Female Vocalist of the Year to my guest. Tammy Trent is always inspirational. Welcome back, Tammy.
Thank you.
Now, where's home when you land?
When I land, it's Nashville.
It is Nashville,
Yes.
and that's so appropriate for a music girl, but so
Yeah.
much more.
Yeah.
I'm holding just a couple of the recent gifts from your heart.
Yeah.
A devotional, Beyond the Sorrow. There's hope in the promises of God. And this, of course, one of your most recent CDs. We're going to be seeing fabulous music video before we let you out of here today.
Good.
Looking forward to sharing that. How are you doing?
I'm doing really well. You know, I think we are all on a journey of life, and my journey has been one very unexpected for me. And I think it's been filled with many choices I've had to make, learning so much about myself along the way, in some good days and some bad days. And I feel like I'm a woman who has walked through some incredible dark days, but I have felt and learned the presence of God all along the way. And I think, you know, today I'm finally in a place where I have been able to let go and then really embrace a new season, a new journey that God has for me. And I don't even know what that looks like. I just, you know, when we get to that place where we finally just say, okay, God, I'm surrendering, I'm letting go, and I want something more for my life. I'm expecting something great. And sometimes we can get so comfortable in our circumstances, in our pain. It can begin to we identify with that, and it can
Becomes your banner.
Yeah, like it defines us, you know. And I don't know that I've been there in the last 10 years as I've traveled the world sharing my testimony of love and loss, but I've certainly, and I want to be careful not to say that I was stuck, but I was in a long season where I'd get on that platform and I would begin to share that story over and over again.
Yes.
And it was tough, but there was a lot of great hope in that as well. And so I felt called to it. I knew that's where God had me. But after 10 years of walking through this, I feel like,
You're ready to move on.
yeah, I feel like there's something more in my spirit feels alive. And I want to be careful not to be stuck. And I don't want that to define my life. But God's got more things for us. He's got greater things. And He's in the business of increasing our lives, always increasing. So if we believe that, then we have to look at our lives, and sometimes in our circumstances that things look tough. We've lost our job, we may be going through a divorce, or we've lost somebody to death, you know, and it feels like, how am I going to get out of this hole? But I think you have to realize that if God is really in a place of increasing, then He's going to bring you up. He's going to rise you up into a new place, into a new season of your life, of new opportunities for your life.
I thought of you yesterday. I just read in a book, knowledge comes through study, wisdom through suffering. You've grown a lot in
I
this
hope
10
so.
years without. How long were you married before you lost Trent?
We were married 11 years. We
Really?
dated
That
7
long?
and a half before that. We had been together since we were 15 years old.
Wow.
Dated in our youth group, went on to Bible college, came back, got married. Married 11 years, signed a record deal in 1995, began to travel the country, and he began to travel with me, managed me, and it was in September of 2001 we went on a mission trip to Jamaica. And I'll never forget standing on the edge of the water one afternoon. He went on a scuba diving expedition by himself, and I stood there on the edge of the water waiting for him to come back, and he never did. And the search began for him that afternoon into the next morning. The next morning turned into September 11th, 2001.
Unbelievable. The
Absolutely.
day before 9/11.
Exactly. So when everything was happening in New York, they were searching for their loved ones. I was searching for mine in Jamaica, in a foreign country, and they did finally recover his body on the morning of September 11th. And you know, that began a whole new journey for me, you know, really standing on the edge of the water. Like my whole life was taken from me at that moment, and I had to choose life. I somehow was trying to choose to live at that moment. And it's been a series of choices for me ever since. You know, everything's been ripped from me. I've gone through that season of grief, and just when I think I'm past something else creeps up and surprises me. But at the end of the day, I can sit here with you today and say I'm a woman who has been healed. And
What's helped the most
what's helped?
in the grief journey?
You know, I mean, I think the right answer as Christians is we know that our faith, you know, it is the right answer and it is the truth.
But specifically,
Yeah, specifically in my life, to be honest with you, it has been the people I've surrounded myself with, my family and my friends who've walked this out for me. There's been times I didn't know what to pray. There's been times when I definitely couldn't stand on my own. We've all had those moments where we're by ourselves in the bedroom and you're just on the floor, on your hands and knees, just saying, God, it's enough. It's enough. I can't do this anymore. I can't take this anymore. I feel all alone. Where are you when I need you? And I think just at those moments, I've always had somebody that's ding-dong, shown up at the door, sent an email, gone onto Facebook, sent a Twitter, whatever it is, just when I need something that somebody says, I'm praying for you. You're so much closer, Tammy, than you think. You're so much braver. You're so much more courageous than you think. It's like little cheerleaders that have definitely spoken into my life when I didn't know what to say myself. So faith carries us, absolutely. The hope that I know, that is absolutely the truth, the promise of God. And I think that's why I wrote that little devotion. There's hope in the promises of God because I believe them. And what are the promises of God? Some of us feel like I've lost them. What are they? And so I put those in the devotion, put my testimony in there, great nuggets of scripture that just those days when you feel like you can't take it anymore, what does God have to say to you in this moment, in this day? That you are beautiful, you're strong, you're courageous.
I can't help but picture your mom's face as you talk about this kind of encouragement.
Oh, yeah.
Friends of this ministry know Judy Buffum.
Yes.
And Judy's traveling with Women of Faith. She's really busy and encouraging, kind of a spiritual mom to all kinds of young people right now.
Judy Buffum, man, what a name. I know, I've been coming here for years under my mom's ministry. She's my best friend and such a covering in my life. I feel like if I could grow up to be anybody, it would be my mom, such a woman of faith, such a woman of the Word.
You're two women who have a great sense of humor, too. And I just think about you on our stage at First Love in Niagara Falls. Lots of laughter, lots of creativity. And, you know, in this, I think this is really a tribute to your husband. This potty training book was started by Trent.
It was.
Okay, I'm going to show it to you, and we're not going to break it down. This is for your home parents, and as you're working with your little person, and it's just very. My husband laughed out loud at the whole thing. He said, "You can't talk about this on Huntley Street." Well, there we just did. So it's great.
I love it. You know what? Trent was in my life since I was a teenager, always supporting me, such a big cheerleader. Felt like he sacrificed so much stuff to further my career, just such a support. And my two nephews, my one nephew in particular was potty training, and Trent was such a storyteller. So he would be up there late at night under the covers with a flashlight telling him these outrageous stories. So he was teaching him how to potty train, and he turned it into a story. And it was a file that it never got finished. He was just starting to illustrate it when he went to heaven. It was one of those files I could not pull out. It was so hard for me to pull that out. And one day I was brave enough to do it. And I found the same illustrator and we finished the book. It's a hilarious book, but it is one that actually works.
Yeah, I mean, you've made it really fun. Like there's not going to be a normal day in that bathroom.
No.
It's all going to be fascinating. What is fascinating in your life of many transitions is that you're kind of taking a sabbatical, but it's not going to be a rest.
I know.
Just in a capsule. We've just got 2 minutes.
Okay.
Because we got to move to Pink Christmas. But what have you been offered?
Gosh, I've been wanting to take some time off the road, to be honest with you, and just listen to God. Like, what's next? This transition we talked about, 10 years, a milestone for me. There's something more. And as soon as I said I'm going to take some time off, I got a call from a very large Christian television show, network, and said we would like to offer you a TV show. So I'm in the middle of, praying about that and pursuing that and wondering what God is up to. I've got another book in the making. So, there's some exciting things, and there's so many opportunities that God gives all of us to speak life into somebody else. And if God is in it, if it's an adventure, if it's fun, then count me in. So who knows what God is up to, but I'm just going to show up, and hopefully it'll all begin to make sense to me.
And you're kicking off Christmas in this area tomorrow night in Brampton at Kennedy Road Tabernacle.
Yes, I'm excited.
I have attended Pink Christmas in the past.
Have you? Do I have to wear pink?
No. They'll have plenty of it there when you get there. Yep.
Okay, good.
So we're going to bring up a page. If you're in this area, you can spend a whole evening with Tammy. It actually starts with a pre-show at 6 o'clock. They've got all kinds of fun waiting for you. And if you're watching in the morning on Friday, you've still got time to go online, but you're welcome to come to the door That's what the information says. Or you can pick up the phone right now and call 905-459-1971. It's a great girls' night out. I mean, I don't know if a guy dares cross the threshold.
You know,
It's
I
really
heard there's going to be
pink.
a few guys showing up, so I'm gonna have to find you and point you out in a crowd if you do.
It'll be fun. Tammy, always great to catch
Thank
up with
you.
you.
You
And
too.
thank you for being a model of trusting God to move on and into all He still had in His plan for you.